My name is Dr. Rhonda Jessam, and I'd like to express my appreciation regarding the board's attention last year regarding compliance to the Healthy Schools Act of 2000. I'm here today, however, because I believe that there is still much work to be done to improve safety standards regarding our children's exposures to chemicals at school. We need to consider the concept of the precautionary principle, or just plain common sense. A couple of weeks ago, neurosurgeon and research scientist Dr. Sanjay Gupta testified before the United States Senate Committee on Environment and Public Works on this subject. Dr. Gupta stated that we can't afford to wait for the jury to be out with regards to the safety of all chemicals that our children are being exposed to. Along these lines, the Environmental Protection Agency declared that it is illegal to claim that any pesticide as safe, since a minimum exposure safety threshold cannot be determined. There have always been changes and recommendations over the years as we learn more about any particular chemical. In the 1940s, the pesticide DDT was declared harmless to humans and animals. We also used to believe that lead was safe to use in our paint. There have been devastating consequences to assuming that chemicals are safe when they are not. Common sense has proven again and again that what we don't know can hurt us. We still have a long way to go in our district in this area. I'm respectfully requesting continued attention to the issue of chemical exposure at school, and the parents are concerned. The current chemicals of Roundup and fumitoxin need to be completely eliminated in our school district. As I have stated repeatedly last year, these chemicals have not been used for the past decade in our neighboring school districts because they are considered to be hazardous. There are other alternatives. My previous request for the development of an oversight committee has been ignored by the board. I would at the very least encourage each and every board member to independently do the homework on this subject, rather than deferring responsibility to other departments to provide the facts on this matter. Who doesn't want to protect children from harm? On a purely gut level, it is common sense that it is better to be safe than sorry. What mothers and fathers don't follow the basic precautionary principle? What leaders don't support a true investigation of the facts involved in child safety? What leaders don't take personal responsibility for the protection of children who are under their trusted care? Thank you.
Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Dr. Zimmer. We've been hearing about this, from Dr. Jessen
Yes.
for a while, and we've been asking questions and receiving information and reviewing what our policies are and what our compliance is. And I am pretty sure that I recall that in response to our questions, we don't use Roundup. Is that not true? We do. I thought we didn't use those products.
No, we were not using it in the areas at the time that was requested. We do use it in specific cases. I'll let Karen go ahead because it's her.
We have on our website, we have posted our entire integrated pest management schedule, and we have all the chemicals that we use and the dates that they're going to be applied. So anybody can look and see all the products that we use are approved by the state. We've gone through all the EPA and all the county health. I mean, we've been blessed by every agency there is out there. And
what has been blessed exactly?
The chemicals that we're using. Our whole program has been approved repeatedly over the last year. So, and it's all transparent. It's all on our website when we do the applications. We do not spray when kids are walking to school. So that's our procedure.
And what's being asked is they're asking for a higher standard, and we certainly respect that. And no one doesn't respect that. It's a matter of the resources we can bring to bear. And, I think the most important thing to make sure everyone understands is that we meet or exceed all current requirements. We have been reviewed and had inspectors out here from various agencies. All of them said, you're all within compliance, you're all doing it fine. And if we have resources that we want to look at, we go to a higher standard. And that's certainly a question for policy and board. But at this point, our commitment, and what I've told Dr. Jetson, is that we will maintain those schools to the highest levels of safety as required by law. We will comply with all current regulations, And we're certainly open and continue to discuss. And if there's areas that we think we can manage with the resources we have, we'll be happy to look at that. Other than that, we're going to have to rely on existing legislation, statutes, and codes.
Is it possible to get a copy of the policy that
Sure.
LA Unified uses?
Yes.
So we can compare them?
Yes, be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, the next speaker is Diana Marcello.
That's what I was going to say. I think it would be good to see what they use, because it's my understanding from talking to Ravina.
I'm sorry, ma'am, you do need to go on mic with your name and address.
I'm sorry, it's Diana Marcello. I live here locally. I have a fairly large home. I maintain an acre of land, and I use this as a gopher deterrent. It does a little sound out of it, which I have it turned off. And so we don't use any pesticides. For 7 years, I haven't used any pesticides at all in my home. I mean, if you get an occasional ant, I'll use a little, it's a little self-enclosed thing that we'll put in the house. I mean, I don't see the reason to have to use a pesticide at all, period. And this is really heartfelt for me. I had so many family members die of cancer. We lived in an area in Ohio where the British Petroleum was, and everything leaked into the groundwater. And they're finding that cancer is caused by the water that we drink. So even though they're using it away from the kids in school, and I understand the precautions,